Okay, so we're now, what are we on? So this is part 4. Part 4 of you following me learning how to weld. Today, the weather forecast says it's going to be scorcher. So one of the great things about working for myself from home is I can just sort of reorganise my day a bit. So instead of being out here this afternoon doing this, I'm going to do my normal work repairing transponded. Well, in fact, I've got to make some laser aligners today. I'm going to do that this afternoon, and I'm out in the garage this morning before it gets too hot. So this is my amazing bit of welding from yesterday. Well, I don't know if it counts as welding because I haven't actually joined two things together. Hopefully I can continue on from that, and I feel I was starting to improve a bit. Watching back at the videos has actually been quite useful because I can see on the video that they sort of talk about the torch being at about 15 degrees to 30 degrees, like a back angle from the where you're moving towards, and I can see it was too upright. So I think with it being at that angle, it would also help me see the arc a bit better. Anyway, so it's time to get on. I've got everything ready. Got me a nice cup of coffee. Hopefully I won't end up with bits of metal in it today. Certainly not bits of arc weld metal, but well, I suppose it'll warm it back up if it gets cold. So I've done it again. I called it arc welding. I'm doing TIG welding. TIG welding, not arc welding. I don't know why my brain does that. It comes out with the wrong worms sometimes. Sometimes I don't even notice I've done it. Anyway, I've got my coffee. It's a lovely day. Let's get going. My plan for this morning is a couple of more goes at practice weld, and then with the same tube I'm going to cut not all the way through so then I don't have to tack weld anything, but if I hacksaw most of the way through I'll have a nice gap there that's kind of the same as welding two bits of metal together. So before I start, I'm just having a good look at that tip, because I can't remember if I had trouble at the end, but it looks fairly sharp to me, so I think I'll leave it as it is. I did kind of think whether it might be a good kind of practice to just give it a little sharpen at the start. In fact, I will actually. I think probably that may be a good habit to get in, is just give it a quick sharpen, quick clean up before I start the day. The Dremel seems to do a okay job at this, so yeah, there we are, look. So that's nice and clean, ready to rock and roll. This is probably breaking all sorts of health and safety rules, but I think I'm going to try doing the rod without gloves on, because if I keep my hands back far enough, and I might be able to start getting the hang of feeding it through the filler rod, because I've noticed this is how most of the people online do it, and I think with those thick gloves on I don't stand a hope in how. And certainly when it gets short I can maybe even put my finger on the end and sort of kind of a bit like a propelling pencil, I suppose. No, I'm not going to get a marker pen. I'm not going to do what I did last time. I'm going to remember to clean everything. So remembering that last minute, do you think that means I no longer have ADHD? I've lost ADHD. I've actually remembered something. I wouldn't want to lose ADHD. Ow, friggin' hell, that's sharp. If I'm perfectly honest with you, because For me, it's who I am. It's what I am. I've been like it all my life. Wouldn't be who I am or what I am or done and achieved what I have without it. Sometimes it would be nice to be able to remember where I've put my keys and my 13mm spanner. Sometimes that would be it would be nice. It'd be nice if I could have the best of all worlds. I suppose some people do. Let's have another go at starting. Okay, so welding around is obviously going to be quite difficult because you change an angle continuously. I hadn't really thought of that. Oh look, I've actually managed to blow a hole in that. I need to keep that feeding going. Completely buggered the end up, so turn the machine off, get the end out and resharpen. I think we're getting here somewhere. I've got it back on the T4 setting, which you seem to press, and then once the arc is going, you then let go and it ramps up to the full power. Then you press again at the end and it ramps down. So that's the one I just did. Apart from it being wobbly because I don't have anything to follow, I don't think that's too bad. So I'm going to have a go at my first joining together one on one of these cuts I did a minute ago. That's my first 3 attempts. And it seems to be that once it starts going wrong, it goes wrong really quickly. I'm going to try knocking the power down a bit, but it seems I've got to probably feed the filler in much faster. Certainly the case when you get anything on the end of there. One of them, I think I then got some dirt on the tungsten, and the arc itself just was sort of really wide. So I don't know if the camera would have picked up that then, but there's a massive arc coming out the end after I damaged the tungsten. It looked more like a flame coming out. Of course, up until that point I was getting a bit overconfident because I sort of done these ones, which to me are starting to to look like I'm getting there. For doing this tube, I think I'm going to have to work out, I don't know, a way of rotating the tube, or I've got to do very small sections. I think I'll have to have another little look on some other YouTube channels of people that know what they're on about, because I'm finding, although this tube's much smaller than what I plan to use on my exhaust, I'm finding the change of angle and direction quite tricky to keep up with. I've also found knocking the power right down seems to help, although there's obviously a balance, because with the power down quite low you seem to have the tungsten quite close, and of course when it's quite close you increase the chance of the filler rod touching the tungsten, and if you do, then everything goes, I say pear shape. It's not really a pear, is it? That's a sodding great hole. It all goes sodding great hole shape very quickly. I think if we look at this pipe though, as we rotate around, these are my attempts as sort of time's gone on this morning. And you can see I did nothing but holes. I've got a couple of little welds there. And as we go around, we're getting less and less hole and more weld. We'll ignore that bit, but up into that bit we had less and less hole and more weld. To give you a different angle on the perspective. No, hang on, that tip is a complete bloody mess. So tighten the back up. In fact, I realised I was undoing the front bit yesterday to take this out. That's wrong. You just loosen this half a turn, leave the front tight. Right, so let's get back to where we were and see what we can do. Look at these. I'm getting better. I do need to be wearing some sort of glove on my left hand, because I'm finding I'm having to sort of rush a bit because my hand's getting a bit warm. Not from the rod, but it's from the heat coming off the tube. I managed to do an okay weld, pretty well all the way round. That's my last one. I tried varying the power. I put the power back up a bit and then put a load of holes in. So I think kind of low 20s seems to be the point that this seems to be working. What I'm going to have a little go at now is I'm going to try filling some of these huge holes, because I'm no doubt when I actually try and do some welding, there's a good chance I'll end up putting a hole in it. So I think what I'll do is I'll have a crack at repairs, because I think that will put me in good stead for when I'm trying to do this in anger. The smaller holes don't seem to be too bad to fill, just kind of basically by doing the same as you would any other welding. The big ones, I'm ending up with such a huge pool of molten metal. I've not looked inside yet, but I suspect that inside the tube it's going to be pretty horrible. In fact, it's pretty horrible everywhere, isn't it? It's hardly going to promote good gas flow there, is it? I guess that's a sign of trying to keep the power down to an absolute minimum so you get penetration but not too much. So I've now got a piece of tube. I mean, some of it's horrible, but I don't think there's any holes in it, which obviously the number one thing is make sure there's no holes. The number two is have welds that look nice. I'm still getting a little bit of this there's a hole there. I'm still getting a little bit of this sort of dimple thing at the end. I'm just trying to work on ways to minimize that. But you know, we're making progress. So I've been out here probably about an hour and a half now doing this practicing, so I'm going to call it a day now. Generally when I don't know, it's the same for everyone, but I find if I try practicing something too long, I sort of hit a level and I just don't sort of get any better, which is generally around the hour and the hour and a half thing. So when doing most things where I'm learning something new, I try and break it down into sort of lumps around about that size. Otherwise I just, you know, in fact sometimes if I try and do things new too long, I actually end up getting worse rather than better. So I'm going to call that a day there.